In this video, you'll get a closer look at the Chevrolet Series H, an overview, its origin, models, price range, and more. So stay tuned. Chevrolet is a household name in the automobile industry that needs no introduction at all. The company that started over a century ago by William Durant and Louis Chevrolet has grown to be one of the most sophisticated car companies in our present generation. The early beginnings of the company started off with some notable, such as the Series H models that we will be discussing at length shortly. Coming out in grand style, the Chevrolet Series H had 4 model variations which were released in a space of 3 years. The first of this model was the Royal Mail model, popularly known as the Chevy H2, that was launched between the year 1914 to 1915. Shortly after the launch of the H2, the company released the H2.5 in 1916, which, as you would guess, was a pretty modified form of its elder sibling, the H2. Somewhere around 1915, the company released yet another whip to add to the H series collection, and that was the model H3 Amesbury Special. And then, the last piece of the collection, the baby grand model H4, was released in 1916. If you stay with me till the end, I'll tell you the models that were produced and exactly how much the whip was sold for at the time, and its equivalent price as of this year. The baby grand Chevy Series H model was one of the whips to be produced under the management of William Durant, who once co-owned the company with the Swiss-born racer Louis Chevrolet. This classic ride was part of Williams' model to build a very popular yet affordable car that could compete with Ford's T model at the time. You can tell that bragging rights between vehicles has been one of the major inspirations behind some of the sophisticated whips you see around these days. Year 1914 witnessed the debut of Model H2 Royal Mail Roadster and the baby grand model H4, both of which came with a 2,642mm wheelbase. 1915 came all the H models features a longer wheelbase of 2,692mm, which is approximately 10 inches. And of course, an electric starter and larger brakes to cap it all. Later that same year, the automobile company launched the Amesbury Special Edition model H3, and as the name implies, features a 3-seater that looks very similar to that of the Royal Mail. The whip came with a French grayish color with a bold green leather-looking interior. The wheels of the Amesbury Special came in wooden spoke type. This was quite different from the other series sold at the time, most of which came featured with the optional hook wire wheels and also cost them an extra $125. This particular model didn't get a very good reception, and as a result, the company was left with no choice but to stop production after 1 year of production. The Series H model cannot be complete without the Royal Mail model H2.5. This became the first integral trunk the company ever made that featured a gas tank between its frame rails at the rear. The Series H model were sooner or later moved upmarket when the Chevrolet 490, which sold for $490 at the time, was introduced in 1915 to once again compete with Ford's T model once again. But what's up with this competition anyway? Owing to the variations of models that were released for the H series, the company produced an estimated number of 5,987 vehicles from 1913, which was considered pretty much at the time if you ask me. 100 plus years ago is a time very far behind our current age and time. If I told you the Amesbury Special Model H series sold for $750, while the other series started sale from $985 upwards at the time of production, you'd probably feel like a king if you could have your current net worth and still get a classic at such price. But hey, the Series H cars are no longer available for sale anymore. But just so you know, the Amesbury Special Edition, which was the least sold at its time, was auctioned for $38,500 at the 2010 Vintage Motor Cars auctions. That's all, folks. If you have enjoyed the video, it'll be greatly appreciated if you hit the like button. And stay tuned for another classic car video.